Making thumbnails for your YouTube videos are extremely important and oftentimes overlooked. A lot of people think you have to be a great photographer or a great editor or a great graphic designer to make a great one. I'm neither of those things, and I think my thumbnails are commanding attention, but it's taken me a while to get there. I want to bypass some of that frustration for you and show you what I've learned in making a great thumbnail. First and foremost, you don't want to block out that play button that's in the thumbnail, and I'll get into that more. But you often want to get yourself or your client to take a picture with them on the side of the camera, so on the side of the screen. You don't have to do that, but I like to do it that way because I might want to use the background. If they can get a background that's just one color, it makes it super easy to crop them out and put them anywhere you want. You could put the Leaning Tower of Pisa behind them if you wanted to, or you could have them. But I like images that have natural backgrounds in it, whether it's outside or inside. Like I've got a cool chalkboard behind me. It's got a neat color to it. I don't know what it's made out of, but it's pretty cool. And I might just want to be like this. So I'm just going to do a picture. Often goofy pictures look really good and they actually capture a lot of attention. Think about that. So let me jump into it and show you how to do this. In creating thumbnails for clients, I often have the client send me an image in either Dropbox or Google. After they've finished a video and uploading their video to YouTube, I want an image so that I can use for their thumbnail. And I like images that are kind of silly. So I've copied this to my desktop and it looks kind of like that. All right. So this is myself and this is for a YouTube video I made. And the YouTube video title is Verify Your YouTube Channel on YouTube. Okay. Verify your YouTube channel. All right. So what do I do? So the very first thing, I use a program called Pixelmator. So I'm going to show you how I do this in Pixelmator. I like this program. It's kind of a cheaper version of Photoshop, but most programs you find will do something similar to this. So I'm going to open it up in Pixelmator. And the very first thing I want to do is, it's way too big. But before I even do that, I want to put it in the right resolution. So YouTube loves 16:9. Most every social media platform really does well with images that are 16:9, which is the standard HD size. So if you have a crop tool, you go to your crop tool, go to 16:9, and you're going to just crop this. I don't care so much if my face gets a little cut out a little bit, something like that. And I always have my clients, including myself, be offset from the middle. And the reason why is because when this becomes a thumbnail, you're going to have a big play button right in the middle, and I don't want it to be right on top of my face or my client's face. So I want that play button right there. I'm planning on it. I'm planning on that play button. So let's make it just a little bigger, and that's probably good about there. And we're going to crop it. And now you can see over here that it's at 23%. I'm viewing it at 23%, and it's already real big. There's 30%. You don't want your thumbnail to be enormous because then YouTube doesn't like it if it's more than, like, I think 2 megabytes to upload. So we're going to go ahead and just change that right now so we don't even forget. So we're going to go to image size, and I'm going to bring it down from 100% to 30%, keeping the resolution. So now when I blow it up to where it was, that's about at 100% right there, a little over 100%. So it's not too big. It's still nice and big, but it's not enormous. We don't want to disrupt the YouTube gods and piss people off, right? Okay, this is where it gets fun. What I love to do is I love to duplicate it. The very first thing is I duplicate this in my layers. Now, layers are just, they're things, think of it as looking through glass. When you have different layers, you're looking through into the image, into these different places. And we're going to create a new layer, and we're going to turn the one in the back off. And so we're just dealing with this one. And what I want to do is I want to crop myself. I want to select myself. Well, there's no easy way to do it. There are tools like this auto select tool you can do like this, and it'll try to take pieces of stuff out. And you can sometimes make that work. If you're in front of just a totally different color background, you can do this real quick and then just delete pieces of yourself out. I find that this doesn't often work because most of my videos and my clients' videos are in a room, and it just ends up looking pretty shitty. So I just did this. I just undid that. So what I like to do is use a selector tool. There's all kinds of different selector tools. You're going to find this. I like this one called the polygonal selector tool. I think it works really, really well. Let me make sure you guys can see this. All right. What it is you just click. It makes these straight lines, and you click and you make a shape, and when you come back to the end of it, it'll say finish selection, and then you can delete that little polygonal or whatever shape you made out. I don't want to do that, obviously, but we're going to start here, and we're going to just get real close, and I'm going to just quickly, and I've done this so many times that I'm getting pretty fast at it, I'm just quickly hitting where the curves, the edges of the curves are. It doesn't have to be super exact, because we're going to use a little algorithmic tool that's going to clean this up a little bit after we're done, but we want to get it close. It's important to get it somewhat close. All right. And when you come over here to an edge that goes off the paper, it's totally fine. Just do that. And just keep going. And you could spend a long time trying to select every little part of this. I don't advise it. You won't do these kinds of things, these processes, if it takes a super long time, will you? No, you will not. Okay, I'm coming back around here, and I'm going to finish the selection. Now I've got a great selection there, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Edit and go to Refine Selection. And this is something that I like about Pixelmator. I don't know if other programs have this, but they have the Smart Define tool. And you click that, and it just finds the edges of where you were. It kind of cleans it up a little bit for you. Now, as you can see, there's a little up here, a little around here that could be a little bit better. So I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to clean up like that little spot right there. And there are YouTube videos out there just on how to use this tool if you're curious. It can get a little inundating or a little overwhelming if you're not sure how to do this, if this is your first time. This took me a few times, but it's not, I mean, if I can do it, you can do it. And then there's some halo kind of effect up there. Anytime you're in front of a screen or another object and you're trying to change the coloring, it can create kind of a halo effect. That's why sometimes people that do green screening, it often looks pretty bad when they do green screening because they get this halo look. I'm going to take out the negative space in between my hand as well, just to make it that much more accurate. You don't really have to. All right, I've got a really great selection. I've selected myself, but now really what I want to do is I want to get rid of this background, right? Hit OK, and we're going to invert. So right now I'm selected myself, but I want to select the background. So I'm going to go to Edit and say Invert Selection, wherever that is. Invert Selection. And now it's selecting everything but me, and then I'm going to hit Delete. And boom, all of that is gone. Really nice and easy. Now I can do whatever I want to this image, and we're going to come back to that in just a second. So I'm going to turn that off. Oh, you see how the selector stays on? If you want to end the selection, hold Command and hit D, and it'll deselect it, at least in this program. Or you can go to Edit and deselect. Okay, now we're going to turn this off, and we're going to go back to our original background, and we're going to just blur this whole thing. And check this out. This is really cool. So you're going to go to, you can do whatever you want. You could go to Stylize, or like if I wanted to, I could make a kaleidoscope out of this whole thing, or, you know, whatever I wanted to do. There's a bunch of teeth. That looks terrible. That's pretty cool though. But what we want to do, we could do shutters, is none of that. What we want to do is go to Blur and go to Gaussian. And this is actually kind of a cool effect. It just blurs everything like it's out of focus. Can hit OK. Now we turn on myself, and now look how much I've come out of the screen. I've come out of the picture. It's really nice. Now there's a lot of things you could do from here. But what if I wanted to do something different? Let's turn that off. Let's do, instead of Gaussian blur, let's choose motion. I like motion a lot. It gives a really cool effect, or it makes it look like things are moving really fast. And it gives, I love that blur effect. So we're going to turn that on, and then we're going to add myself back to it. Now it looks like I'm Sonic the Hedgehog running through the picture or something like that. It's got a really cool look to it. So you might want to add like a halo effect around me. Now there's different ways in which you can do this. This is the way I like to do it, and you can tell me how you like to do it in the next one or in the comments. So I like to put a new layer. And I'm going to add this layer. I'm going to put it to the very top, just move it to the top. And we're going to add some paintbrush. And let's choose a really bright fluorescent kind of color, like this bright green, okay? Like this color here. That's pretty cool. It really stands out. So we're going to choose an airbrush that's really, really light. And we want to have a flow. You're going to have to play with the different settings to find one that's just kind of nice and easy and has a nice blend to it like that. You'll have to kind of play around with that. But, all right, I'm liking this one. I'm going to try, that sounds pretty good. What I want to do is I want to put a halo just around the edge of me. And you're going, why would you do that? Trust me, it's cool. And then, just like that. Then we're going to just put this, oh, before I do that, I want to do a little back there too. I want to put this back behind me, and I immediately have that halo look. Pretty slick, isn't it? Now that might be a little too much. So what we could do is we could make it a little lighter, we could do different things to it, or you could go in and now you can smooth out that halo like that. So I'm using the Gaussian blur to blur out that halo a little bit. Now it makes me stand out even more in the image. It's just a cool little effect, and it makes it pop. That green against the red makes it pop. We've got a lot of color in here. So those are some techniques for that. The next thing we want to do is we want to clean up my face a little bit. So I'm going to go back to this image, make sure you're on the right one. You're going to go to the Band-Aid tool, and you're just going to select some areas that you think could use a little bit of improvement, lines, things like that. You don't have to do this, of course. All depends on how confident you are in your skin color and tones. I'm a redhead, so naturally I've been burned 1,000 times, and my parents didn't believe in sunscreen for some reason when I was a kid, so I'm always struggling with some skin blemishes. All right, so that's looking pretty good, and I look confident and happy, and I don't know why my tongue has a little bit of, ooh, that didn't work. We'll just leave my tongue alone. It's got a little bit of teeth marks in my tongue. But that just adds to the effect, man. Okay, what we're going to do is now we're going to leave that space for the play button, and we're going to add text to this. So I suggest creating a new layer. It's always easier to create more layers. It's hard to do stuff when you haven't created enough layers. Create a layer, and we're going to create some text. So we're going to grab our text tool, and we're going to just go ahead and write it in. And I suggest making it small at first. And verify your YouTube channel. Okay, super easy. I think I'm going to have each word have a different line, like that. And now we're going to grab them all. We're going to change it, make it bigger. That looks pretty awesome right there. Verify your YouTube channel. And what we might want to do is make it look like there's sticky tape putting these in. That's maybe a tad big. Let's do it down to 68. That's a little better. So I can move this over. I want to make room for that play button. I don't want to block that. Verify your YouTube channel. So now we want to put some tape right there, right? Again, you might want to add a new layer. You don't have to, but add a new layer. And we're going to add some squares that's kind of look like tape. And I'm going to put it underneath the layer, or underneath this one. I guess we didn't need to add a new layer because when we created a shape, it automatically did that for us. Okay, so we have verify, and I'm going to make this a little smaller. And so it just looks like it's on a piece of tape. Cool. And it's got a shadow in it. I don't know if you can see that, but that's in the style area. It gave it a little bit of shadow. Right here, that shadow is on. You could add more if you wanted to, or a different color, but I like it. It's nice. We're going to duplicate that. Bring this down. Duplicate that. Bring that down. Duplicate that. Badass. Looking amazing. And now we just want to adjust this so that each one of these is kind of matches the piece of tape. This is just an effect that's popular right now. I think it looks pretty cool though. And what you could do if you want to change the size, you can grab all of these and group these together. I'm going to group all of that together. So now if I wanted to make it a little smaller, I could do that all together without having to grab each piece of it. I think that's a little bit better. All right, now we got a badass thumbnail. I'm really digging it. It looks great. All we have to do is export it. It's in the right size. It's not too big. It's got some cool color in it. If you wanted to, you could change the color of yourself. You could go to maybe a black and white. A black and white effect. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble finding where I'm at. Black and white. And we could maybe do that if we wanted to. That's kind of a cool look as well. Give it a little bit of contrast and make it pop a little bit more. I don't know. Or not. I kind of like it the way it is. Another thing would be color balance. Maybe just add a little bit of red into it. Just a little more to make it stick out a little harder. That looks pretty good too. And if we want to do a check mark, we might want a check mark on this because we are verifying, right? So I've got a check mark on my desktop, and we will just do that. And maybe do that. Put it right there. That'd be a cool place. Verify your YouTube channel, just like that. Or you could put it over here, whatever you want to do. But I think this is a great spot for it. It's not too cluttered. It's not too crowded. It's looking dang good. All right. So now we're going to export it. We go to File, Export, PNG. PNG files are my favorite, but you can decide what you want to do. And we're going to do Verify, and we're going to export that. And then we're going to add it to our YouTube channel. So you go back to the channel that you want, and you edit it. And we're going to do a custom thumbnail, and we're going to select the one we just created. And if it's too big, it won't let you upload it, so you got to make sure. That's why we made it somewhat smaller. And we're going to save changes to it. Verify your YouTube channel. Now, because I changed the words on here, I really need to have them the same. Your YouTube channel. Just like that. And we're going to hit save. And now that looks awesome. Now when we share this link, it'll look fantastic. And people might actually click it. That's the goal. If this video was helpful to you, will you please hit that like button and consider subscribing and sharing this with somebody that you think could benefit from this video. We love passing on solutions that make life a little more stupid easy. One more thing, we have a crash course we do very regularly, and it's totally free, and it's all about how to build an online course. We give a whole crash course on how we do this. If that interests you at all, you can sign up below. There's a register button below in the comments. We would love to see you there. All right, guys, that's it for this week. We will see you on the next video.